Let's do it. Let's start to welcome everyone in.
Let's do this. I'll let you do the first introduction and then I'll take over if you want.
Of course, or I just don't stop talking. You know me, Jose. Perfect. Well, I can see a whole bunch of people joining us already, which is great. And maybe we'll give it a few more seconds, just waiting a little bit longer for people to join. We've got your giant cup of coffee in hand.
Yeah, big one today.
Yes, done. Well, for the people who are joining us already, please do just say hello. Give us a wave, whatever you need to do. If it's introducing yourself with your name, I always love to see where people are tuning in from. So with your location as well, while we're doing these events online, it's just nice to kind of see where everyone's tuning in. And then social media handles and LinkedIn's, I think is also amazing to connect on this event and then hopefully off as well. So I can see Lizzie from London, welcome. It is sunny, so hopefully we can kind of finish right on time and then get out and enjoy that sunshine, but we'll see how we go. Amazing. We'll keep that up in the chat. I obviously don't want to be wasting any more time. So what I'm going to do is do a quick little introduction. So I'm John and I'm the Partnerships Manager at General Assembly, which means I reach out to incredible brands and speakers to help me deliver these community events. So if you're joining us for the first time and don't know much about General Assembly, we are a tech education company offering high-demand skills in tech. And this is through our full-time and our part-time courses, classes and workshops, and in these free events as well, where our mission is to empower those to pursue a career they love and help them with the career transition into skills such as UX design, data science, and then software engineering. So if you do have any questions regarding General Assembly, feel free to, if it's connect with me on LinkedIn, so John Furno, or reach out to our incredible frontline team at london@ga.co, and I can pop their email in that chat as well. But keep that going. That chat is going crazy, and I'm trying to keep up. But if you do have any questions in the meantime, pop them in that Q&A box, and we'll be sure to get to them 10 to 15 minutes towards the end. And then we are also recording this session, so we'll be sure to kind of send that out in a follow-out email afterwards. But that's it. That's all from me. I'm going to pass you over to Jose to kick things off, so take it away.
Let's take it away. Thank you so much, John, for the amazing introduction. And guys, I'm going to be very honest from the very beginning. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with the chat. I remember last time I started getting loads of questions and I think I did my best. So please be patient with me, because it's not the fact that I'm getting old, because that's not true. I'm close to being 40. So, hey, it's just that, yeah, it could be a bit slow when it comes to these things. Keep it up anyway. I see that, some people I know already. I got Gina. There is Georgie, plenty of people from around, the area as well. Even Mexico. Oh my goodness. Okay, fantastic. Great Superman colors. Thank you very much, Liz. And guys, keep on interacting. That's the whole idea. And, I'm going to be asking you questions throughout the process. By the way, my name is Jose Ucar. Okay, I know John has already introduced me, but I always like to say in my own accent, being all Venezuelan and everything. So as I ask you questions, feel free to interact. If I don't ask you any questions, feel free to interact as well. So the first one is, how many? It's 12 p.m. in the UK. So 1 p.m. in Europe and, a bit later everywhere else, or a bit earlier. So how many sessions like this have you had today? I mean, like virtual sessions. How many so far? Your granddad is Venezuelan. Woo! 2 already. One. Venezuela, amazing. Thank you. This is my first one. 0, 2, 4. Ooh, 4. Julia, well done you. Wow. Okay. So fantastic. So overall, I would say at least 1 or 2 so far. So I think I've got a bit of responsibility to keep you entertained at the same time, provide some knowledge, and who knows, maybe some fun throughout the process. No pressure, Jose, right? Okay, yeah, no, okay, cool. Yeah, so let's do this. I'm going to share my screen because I've got some things I want to present using slides. And then I'll, take it off and we're going to be using the chat, and this is going to be interactive as possible. Anybody has got coffee, drinks, things like this? You all ready? Today's topic is, I'm going to speak while I share my screen. Yeah, multitasking. There I go. Right. You are your marketing. And there's one thing I want to do because I prepared this. So give yourself a few seconds. Give yourself a few seconds for this. A bit of music, change the state, and get ready. Just give it a few seconds. I'm not going to keep you dancing for the whole session, just a little bit. It can be a bit of a routine before you do anything. And I kind of liked this tune. Play with me. I wish I could see you all. There we go, a little bit. 116 people. I wish I could see you all dancing a little bit, shaking it off, getting ready to learn something new. I like to have a good time. Yeah, it is lockdown. Woo! Right, stop the music, Jose. Let's get started. Today, you are your marketing, okay? And you might be wondering, well, let's just speak about SEO. Let's see how you position yourself online, start your business, blah, blah, blah. No, today it's about yourselves. It's about us as humans, because you are the best marketing. And take this in the broad way, apply it everywhere in your life. You are your marketing when you go and meet the person you want to date, yeah? Or you want to create a family, or when you start a business, or when you go and apply for a job. Anywhere, we carry ourselves, and how we carry ourselves, that's what I like to call our marketing. And today, we're going to touch on 3 things, okay? And let me see if I can get the chat facility open here, because as I'm sharing the screen, I just want to make sure I've got you all close to me, guys. Okay. Oh, you couldn't hear the music. No, you couldn't hear the music. Oh. Okay. Well, so you could dance to my moves at least. All right. There you go. Something to check then. Why wasn't I sharing the music? Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Well, I know. So it cuts the music, but then you can share the sound, and I missed that bit. Okay. Well, if you were dancing to the moves, that's what matters, because the message is play a bit of music, make sure exactly true silent disco. That's the kind of environment and energy I like. Exactly. Fantastic. I thought you were listening to it and I was having a great time. But hey, energy is contagious. And as I like to say, it is impossible not to communicate. You know, what we share with our body has got no limits. So there is no camera that can, block human interactions and human connections. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that positivity. Right. So we are your marketing. 3 things I'm going to be speaking about today. Let's just see the clicker if it works. Mr. Clicker. Okay, it might be working. Wow, I'm all over the place with this today because I'm testing a new platform. I'm going to be honest. I'm doing the presentation using Canva. And I want to make sure, I do something different because I can't get like animations and things. Try something new if I'm going to be speaking about marketing. Of course, 3 elements. You see, I'm very stressed. It's very important to be very stressed out before you go and present, especially when things don't go right. That's life, isn't it? Right. So 3 things, as I said: stand out, connect, and deliver. All right. And the first element, and consider this a loop. Okay. It's always flowing. You stand out, you connect with people, you deliver that best version of yourself, and you go again, refine yourself, reinvent yourself. Because if you think about it, this is the opposite to being stuck, isn't it? There's no way you can get stuck if you continue to do this on a daily basis. So when I say standing out, I like to say, first of all, you have to strip out. Picture, I'm going to leave the coffee in the side, picture an onion, and you start peeling it until you get to the very core. Yeah. And that very core is that why, your big why. I want you to consider for a moment, because I wish I would have asked myself this question several times, even every day or once a week when I was 16, 17. I maybe started doing it when I was 35, maybe 30 something. Anyway, so what is your why? Okay. What makes your heart sing? What makes you wake up in the morning? What is that thing that helps you keep going through life, to continue to pursue the things you love the most? Or what is that thing that is missing when potentially you spend all of lockdown watching Netflix? So think about your why, Because once you find your why, you're going to get that compass and that thing to look for in everything you do. And when things are not working out, you'll be able to connect back to it. All right. So this is the core. This is our why, our purpose, our reason. Think about it for a moment. About 10 years ago, and in front of a big audience, it was year end. And I have about, I'm not going to lie, like thousands of people. No, I had like 120 people, similar to today. And there I stood up, and it was when I was about to present. I forgot, sorry. I'm sorry. And I went down. I went and sat back down. That was my whole presentation in front of all of this audience of business people. I was representing different associations at the moment, and that was my amazing presentation back then. Woo, well done, Jose. When I actually went back and checked years later, I compared that against when I did my TEDx, in which whether it was good or not, and I know today could be better, what I felt was so amazing because I was clear that my purpose that day was to connect and also to give myself the opportunity to share the best version of myself, my knowledge, and have also the opportunity to bring my parents, my wife, and my brother, my closest people, my favorite human beings, to have them with me. I'll tell you the story about how the TEDx started another day. It wasn't how I wanted it to be, but there is a but. My purpose, my drive, my energy, my enthusiasm was such that nothing could stop me, and I delivered the best version of myself. Think about deliver the best version of myself. Think about this when you do anything in life. You tell me what is a better marketing than doing just that. And then you can say, Jose, yeah, I kind of know what my purpose is. I'm clear. Or if you're not, you keep on asking the question, you keep looking for it, and you'll find the things, what makes your heart sing. I'll always say, I like that one. I think it was Steve Jobs who said that. Another thing that you can do to stand out, apart from finding, your core, that thing that drives you, reconnecting everything internally, this is another powerful thing to do. Exceed expectations. When I came to the UK back in 2007, I started packing boxes, putting the products for the business I was working for into boxes. Yeah, I was in logistics in the stores and shipping them out. Exceeding everyone's expectations. For the guy that had come from Venezuela, lived in Spain a little bit, had this very strong accent, but a crazy will to succeed. 10 years later, roughly, well, a bit less, about 8 years later, I was the marketing manager for Europe. Maybe I could have gone further. I could have moved higher up the business ladder. Who knows? I gave it my best. And I exceeded expectations. I didn't care if I had to work weekends, if I had whatever it took. I was studying on the weekends, in the evenings. I didn't have time to watch much TV because, my drive, what I wanted was there, and I went for it. So exceeding expectations to stand out in any environment. What I want you to do as you're looking at this, where can you go and exceed expectations? How can you exceed expectations? And I'm going to give you a bit more on this. Another example, which is related to my experience, of course. My boss, and I'm going to tell you a little story about my boss later. He said to me, look, we're going to be going to the biggest show. We were a small business. Back then, we were maybe 50 people, an SME. We're going to have a stand at the biggest show in Europe. We need a stand. Fine. We put a team together and we created a stand that won the first prize for innovation and design, creative design. That's what I mean by exceeding expectations. Sometimes you don't know what people expect, but you're giving it your best. And whatever feedback you get, you keep on giving it your best. It can be tiring. Yes, you want to stand out. This is a way to stand out. It's not paying loads on SEO or pay-per-click and things like this, which also help. That's a different thing, different strategy. What I'm talking about here is yourself. How you're going to go and promote or showcase, the best version of you, what you carry inside. Another way, which is really good, and I spoke about it yesterday, and this comes from marketing, okay? And this 4 elements or steps started to disrupt a market's logic. Okay, so businesses use it to become disruptive. So to come up with something new, to stand out. So think about, Uber, for instance, what they created. And in that line, if you think about what your market, okay, and your market, you're an employee as well, whatever, it applies to everything. It applies to driving changes at home during lockdown. Okay, so what can I create? What can I reduce? What can I eliminate? What can I raise? During the first lockdown, what did I do? I created a training and I just went crazy. I worked for, I don't know, almost 6 months. I created a training. What did I reduce? Netflix time, of course. I didn't have a choice. What did I raise? Let me think, what did I raise? Definitely, well, I had to study a bit more and prepare. So I changed certain habits. I raised, Liz. This makes me think of you. Liz is one of my co-hosts in Some Things We Do, a podcast. I raised my brownie consumption. I was eating more brownies. And what did I eliminate? By the end of it, I realized that I had eliminated the barber from my life. And I think I might be going this way again now. Hey, think about it now, today. And I would like you to interact in the chat a little bit, okay? And I'm going to take a look at the chat. What today? Think about what you want to achieve or what you want or whatever you would like to be different in your life. What can you start doing more of? What can you do less of? What can you create? What can you eliminate? Think about it for a moment while I take a sip of coffee. Think about it for a moment. Even if you want to write it on the chat, if not, get that information to sync. What can you change? So what can you start doing more of, less of? What can you create? What can you eliminate at work, with your partners, with your family, during lockdown, your daily routine? Or you can even ask yourself the question, what can I do to stand out? Because Uber stood out, Tesla stood out, Deliveroo stood out, Zoom, which we're using today, stood out. Create new connections online. Less procrastination and more action. Exactly. So, and I will help you, Lara, to just add a bit more to it and more action. Actions like what? So start thinking about those actions because, the conscious mind is tricking. Yeah, more action. What are those steps? So you start doing them. Right after this call even, you start doing more of that. Reducing use of mobile. Yeah, sometimes, of course, I agree. Create a marketing plan to sell a course. Hey, Rob, well done. Definitely, yeah. Happy to support you on that one. I love it. Need to exercise more. Create purpose. Reduce screen time. Eliminate negativity. Raise positivity. Loving it, guys. Thank you, Marina. Julia, replace boys with art books. I'm with you. And I think in a way, some of those books in the background are my wife's. Oh, I wonder whether there is a hidden message in there for me. Right. Okay. Thank you, Julia. Also need to spend less time on social media, do more programming, front-end development for sure, finalizing merchandise for upcoming album. Guys, I love it. All of those are right. Thank you very much for sharing. So take this away with you because, standing out, it's not like I'm going to stand out because I'm the best and I'm great. And no, it's just stand out because then people can see you. It is a very crowded marketplace nowadays, so people can notice you, and the thing is, when they notice you, they can get some of the value you carry, and that's the key. That's what is important. So once then people start to notice you, once you stand out, through being that amazing version of yourself. Let's just see clicker. My clicker has abandoned me again, so I'll just play the good old lovely finger. So we go and start establishing connections, creating connections. And you are very lucky because you have got a master at this, an amazing guy that creates incredible connections like this. And you might be thinking, yeah, Jose, you're so silly. Now you're going to say, yeah, me. No, John. Last time I presented, I mentioned John for his ability to connect with people, because think about it, John in his own way is standing out in what he does. And that's why, I connected with him when I went to visit him at General Assembly last year. So you are this great version of yourself, you're standing out, you're doing things. So now then, how do you carry out these connections? And there are usually two things you can do. Yeah. So I like to divide them into, you can continue creating surface connections, which could even be, I think today's connection with you guys is already deeper than just the type of connection that we get at work. For example, when you go and say, hey, hello, good morning, and then you go and sit down and you don't, and excuse my English, you don't give a toss about anybody else. Okay. So you tell me how you're going to be, your own marketing, an amazing marketing, even call it, yeah, I'm a marketing tool in a way, because, I'm promoting myself through who I am, that very best version of me. So it's just creating deeper connections. Remember the purpose. Remember when we speak about purpose, and then there is that intention. I will share my intention every time I do this, or every time I go out. My intention is not just to create deep connections. My intention is to leave people a little bit better. My goal today, believe it or not, is just that by the end of this, at least you feel a bit better or a little bit different in any way possible. Because then that creates that ripple effect. It's just like when you put money in the bank with this compound interest that I don't understand very well. And then with time, every person you impact positively impacts another one and another one and another one. This is what I mean about connecting. Now you tell me, which business wouldn't kill to have a person like that? A salesperson like that, a marketing person, human resources, anybody, any manager, anybody that brings this kind of energy, always willing to create deep connections. My former boss, and I've been lucky because the two previous as well have been amazing. Sorry, it happens, I got a bit of itchy nose. They've been amazing. And the reason why I came, that's the thing, the reason why I came to the UK, apart from wanting it, was because when I lived in Spain for a year, I met Alan. And in less than half an hour, I was sold on the idea to come to the UK. And those 4 elements, always take them into consideration. Whenever you go and interact, when you go out, when you get yourself in front of this, get ready, because there is a way in which you engage that is going to leave an impression. That impression can be good, can be great, can be bad, can be very poor. Based on that, you're going to be building a certain level of trust, which is what Alan did, what John did, to finally influence others, positively influence other people. Alan changed my life. Without him, back then, I wouldn't be where I am today. So imagine if you then become aware of all of this through that amazing person you are, and you begin to connect with people at a deeper level. You begin to engage, to make that impression, to build trust and influence in everything you do, and learning the process. And when I say influence, it's not that I'm going to get you to do what I want. I'm going to share the best version of me with you. And hopefully we get to do things together. You learn from me and I learn from you. You give me feedback that I can learn from. We work together. Collaborations, amazing things happen. I listen to you and you listen to me. Imagine a team of people that can work at this level with this type of dynamics in which we listen to each other, we care for each other, we are vulnerable, we are not, don't have any problem to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Let's just do this, review it, do it again. This is what I mean by, your ability to go and connect. And sometimes, it is important to have an intention. And for me, that intention is to connect. Deep connections, care for the person I have in front of me. Deep connections. So you're standing out, and as you stand out, you shine, and then you share that shyness with people. A bit of a pause. What are you thinking about as I change my slide? Because look at this at the moment. And on this, I would like you to comment on the chat. This is why I prepare every day. Are you not? You might be wondering, Jose, what happened? Are you not? Are you or are you not a parabolic antenna, broadcasting emotions on a daily basis? That is the source of our connection, by the way. So are you cheeky on a regular basis? I found these 3 animations, okay? That's not to say that we can be some else. But, are you kind of cheeky, like, winking like I can be sometimes? Are you happy? Or are you kind of grumpy, upset, sad, frustrated? Hey, no right or wrong here. I go through all of them. The thing is, I always decide to go for either happier or cheekier, instead of the other one, because we carry that with us, and that's how we connect with people. And then you wonder, wow, I keep on attracting negative people. Oh, some others say, I keep on attracting amazing people. Well, what kind of emotions do you carry with you? What kind of emotions are you broadcasting? Let me just check the chat and see whether we have any comments. What's happening in the chat, guys? I want to see. So where did I leave? Okay, finalize. Gina, such a great podcast. That is okay. Oh, some promotion here. Thank you very much, Gina. Absolutely. So who would you build that deep connection with? As it does take time. Exactly. And Susanna, I will start by saying that it can be a belief. These deep connections can happen in less time than you can imagine. The connection I developed with Alan, that's not to say that it evolved with time, but after half an hour, I trusted the guy. When I met John, after half an hour, I trusted John. There are people I met, for example, we have on this chat, we have Liz, we have Gina, I think we've got Georgie as well. And I haven't met them in person yet. We met during lockdown. We trust each other. We do projects together. We exchange ideas. We do loads. And the connection happened almost instantly. And that's what I mean by, you carrying that best version of yourself, always aware of who you are and wanting to connect with others. Of course, things will change and all human dynamics are different. But, it's just that intention, carrying that intention with you all the time. We are all of this at different times, says Kasia, of course. Happy, positive, encouraging vibes. Helena, fantastic, projecting positivity and hope. Yes, how do you make deep connections in the new world where contact is mainly virtual? Thank you very much, Karin. I think I kind of explained that. It's what I've done with Gina, Georgie, Liz, Res. Even I think our relationship, John, if you agree, is a bit stronger now after having interacted through the virtual environment. And I like to answer, Karin, is, to believe it's very important to believe that you can create a connection via this channel. Because think about it, we don't have any other options. And I'm grateful because thanks to this, we are talking today. We are exchanging certain information. Who knows where this leads to? I'm speaking to people from all over the world on a regular basis, something I wouldn't have been able to do if we didn't have lockdown, because I would have been going to London more often, networking. So I think at the point, going back to that purpose, to that intention, is believing that you can create amazing connections like this. That's the start. And then, of course, there's just what kind of language do you speak? And I'm not speaking about English or German or Portuguese. It's just, noticing the language and adapting, building rapport, all of those things that I could expand on. But if I carry on talking, I don't think we're going to finish the presentation. But happy to expand on this later on. Guys, connect with me on any social network. Even add me on WhatsApp later on. And I'm always happy to share information. This is what I love doing. Kasia, best when we are aware of our emotional state and consciously choosing the ones that serve us best. Kasia, magnificent. Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Consciously choosing the ones that serve us best. Do it, and the more you do it, the better. Do you follow people for a reason? If you do research on them and you love the vibe, then reach out. Fantastic, great advice, Gina. Totally agree. Virtual connections have opened up many more international opportunities. Just yesterday, I spoke to New York, Boston, Croatia, Washington, Sweden. Liz, wow, yeah, I love it. You are always on the go. Thank you so much, amazing community, for sharing. Let me just close the chat and continue. So, remember I spoke about that sort of loop, yeah? If we continue on that loop, we will never get stuck because we're always evolving, right? And on this thing about emotions, because I spoke about you stand out, you create those connections, you carry those emotions with you. The delivery, and listen to this carefully, your delivery to others, to the world, is the present of your presence. Think about it for a moment. you are giving this gift to others because you can bring light to any room, to any circumstance. You can change people's lives. And then apply this presence simply when you go to an interview and apply for a new job. Who do you think they're going to pick? Of course, there are different elements, okay, that I haven't mentioned today. I mean, we start with the purpose, and then there are sets of beliefs and values, and there are also the skills. Of course, I mean, you can have an amazing presence, but if I go and apply for an engineering position, they're going to go, Jose, great, I love your energy, mate, but you haven't got a clue about this, so off you go. Of course, it's just, bringing that presence and combined with your skills, and also realizing what other skills you need in order to succeed and to continue to stand out. You see, it's always going to be a loop, but it's just the gift of your presence that you give to others. If I could see you, and without even seeing you, your comments and everything else, you're giving me so much. And you are, in a way, if I'm being externally referenced, you are giving me energy, and you are giving me a reason to continue doing these things. And that's the beauty of this kind of engagements. And so we're giving the gift of our presence. And, this takes me to the next, because then, okay, yeah, we've got that presence. And what do we do with it? We've got our purpose. Yeah, so I've got this. So what do I do with this, in a year's time? Or where do I want to be? This is the bit I mentioned before that I wanted to touch on, which is just, I see this as a straight line anyway. And I'm going to share it next. It's just, what do you want? What do you want with your life? What do you want with your career? What do you want with your relationships? What do you want? What do you want? I mean, the Wheel of Life is an amazing coaching tool in which you can pick the different elements. What do you want with your finances? And always think that your presence is going to have an impact in all of them, all areas of your life. Because after all, as Dale Carnegie once said, we are in the business of humanity. We are, I mean, this is, without humanity, we're nothing. We don't, we need to interact with each other to succeed. There you go. To succeed in all of those areas of your life. Let me just change here. So this is my line. Well, yeah, I call it, it's not a straight line. It's a bit of a zigzag. This is my metaphoric representation of life. I see it, and Liz has heard this before. It's just like a bumpy road for me, yeah? But then I like to do this, I'm delivering this best version of myself, okay? And this is where I am today, and I'm building this reputation, and people are perceiving me in a certain way, and I've got my goals, okay? And I share some of my goals with you. I want to keep on speaking and be recognized worldwide, for example. So in a year's time, I'm here today, going to be crazy with all of these things that are going on. So where do I want to be in a year's time? Or where do I want to be in a month's time? Or in a week's time? Or even, what do I want to have achieved by the end of today? Sometimes it doesn't have to be that long-term, step-by-steps as well. However it works for you. But I want you then, as you stand out, you begin to connect with people, and you deliver that amazing self of you because you're amazing. Then what is it that you want to be doing with that long-term? Okay? Because you can decide to be flexible and change every day in order to achieve that. So once you know your purpose, that thing, that compass, that sense of direction to get to that point, whatever that is, for me is, as I said, becoming that world-known or world-renowned speaker. What am I going to do on a daily basis to get to that point? What do I need to learn? And as you see, as I'm failing, because there are up and downs, sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail, sometimes I feel like I'm going backwards. You know what keeps me going? My big why. And my big why is related to people, to you guys. So even if I have a terrible day, I'm going to find a way to come out of it and to continue following my dream. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want for you. That you become more and more aware of where you are and what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to do with your life. That it doesn't matter what you want, whatever success is for you. I just don't want to hear excuses. I want you to be vulnerable and open and just realize, yeah, I'm not achieving this because of that. And how can you learn? Remember, there is no failure, only feedback. And as you share that amazing presence with others and you plan your way ahead, you will get there. And if you're not getting there, remember, then go, how can I then stand out again? What can I increase, decrease? eliminate or create? Where can I go exceeding expectations? Do I need to refine my purpose? What's going on inside me? Because that's my life on a daily basis. What do you think? This is perfect? No way. It takes a lot, to be energized and everything. For me, it's just a daily process that I decided to jump on. And just to finalize this bit, and I sometimes like to speak about metaphors, and metaphors can represent an important time in your life. And the metaphor I have for my business, for what I do, is just imagine, picture this for a moment. I jumped on a ship, okay? It can be a ship that I jumped on from Venezuela. Who knows? It could be that one. And I came all the way to the UK, okay? And as I arrived with my ship to the dock, I burned that ship. So I have no other option but to conquer the island. So it doesn't matter how bad my day is, I want to conquer that island. Also important, that's a good use of metaphor. So if you have a metaphor for your life or what you want, something that can motivate you, inspire you, you can even borrow this one from me, which is not mine, by the way. I read it in a book. Don't ask me the name. You can ask me, but I won't remember it anyway. Yeah? And keep on doing it. Because listen to this. You people are amazing. You are amazing. And if you bring this self throughout life, you'll see amazing results. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's just going to be amazing, just the way you are. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening and for interacting. It's been great fun. And now we can open up more questions and we can have a more open chat. And again, I'm sorry you couldn't hear the music, but I'll make sure I post it somewhere so we can listen to it together, okay? Thank you so much, guys. Over to you, John, if you want to jump back in, or what do we do now?
I was like, I'm on mute, quickly, made that mistake. No, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I think we'll definitely open it up. We've got plenty of time for questions. So maybe we should give it a few more minutes, just kind of waiting for people to submit them within that Q&A box down the bottom. But I mean, in the meantime, if there's any kind of resources or, like you mentioned, podcasts, books, or anything that you want to just mention now, I can take down those notes and then put them all together in that email we'll be sending out with the recording afterwards, just kind of while we're waiting for people to submit their questions.
Fantastic. I'll do that, John. I'll drop you an email with those, the resources I've got, the podcast. I think Liz is already sharing it. Thank you, Liz.
Nice.
I also, one thing, guys, is my nutrition. I take good care of it. And we have Gina today, and she's amazing. She's creating these lovely snacks, and I don't have to eat more sugar because she's making amazing brownies that don't carry any sugar. What can I say? That's the beauty of connections. Any questions, lovely people? Oh yeah, there's a Q&A here. So what elements of personal marketing can we leverage apart from bringing positive energy to every interaction? So the personal marketing, well, as I mentioned, 4 elements. So for example, one thing is, depending on the environment you go to, be flexible enough and curious enough to then, dress in a way that matches that environment, unless you want to stand out for the good reason. Also, your behavior. How are you behaving in those environments? Make sure you pay attention to the people, okay? And I'm not saying you behave in the same way just for the sake of it, but you look to match. You look to build rapport. Curiosity is key. Let me know. Okay, that's an anonymous attendee. If whether those answer in a way your question. Of course, I'm bringing positive energy to every interaction. It's not to say that if you give me a problem and you're gonna go, forget about it. It's so positive and nice. It's just at that point being able to build rapport and be at the same level of energy. So it's being flexible. I think the most important, I always like to say, to influence people, you have got 2 options. One is to be yourself, and one is to change yourself. And I don't mean by changing who you are, but changing your behavior in order to positively influence that interaction. And that's who you carry with you. So when you're certain that you can do that, and you got the tools and you got the skills, I always invite people to learn about body language, for example, is key. Language itself, how to spot, what kind of filters people are using to represent their reality, so you can go match them. Asking questions is super powerful as well. And it's also a trait that represents you as your own brand, your marketing. How do you convey others with your mantra way of living? I would like to motivate people to become more sustainable in fashion and care for workers. Okay, Susanna. Well, you have experienced a version of what I do, which is in a way to motivate people. Okay. So what have you taken away so far? I would like to ask you. Another way to motivate people, I always like to say it depends on if it's actually a one-to-one interaction, which is interesting then to understand what people's, what their purpose is, what is it that drives them, what their values are, whether they are in alignment with that industry as well. That's always important because sometimes we work because we have to work and there is no real deeper connection. So find those out. You can ask, questions about it. Or if, for example, you want to convey your mantra, your way of living, stories are amazing. If you have the opportunity to stand up and present and speak about what you do, relate those elements through stories. I always recommend make a point, tell a story, or tell a story and make a point. Okay, and that's the best way for people to connect with something that's valuable for you. And the beauty of stories is that they all take their own message. Let me know if that answers your question. Happy to keep on answering and adding more. Oh, you see, you guys are amazing. I've got plenty of questions now. Amazing energy. Do you work with people individually on their marketing? I do, yes. Yes, that's just a short answer, depending on your needs. I work on everything that I described today and also how to then, deliver through other means and other channels. Mainly videos. I love videos as well. So one-to-one interactions and videos is one of my specialties. Thank you, Helena. Gwen, how do I start networking to market myself to get more freelance work during this virtual world in lockdown? Great question. I wish I had the magic wand. One thing I've been doing is look between Eventbrite, Meetup, FSB, the Federation of Small Businesses, and there are many more networking events out there. And if you're new to networking, then go out there and try it. Try it. Be yourself and go to these events and be curious and see what you can learn, what you can pick. Start working on what they always like an elevator pitch. And I always bring something different just to see what kind of reactions I get from the audience. So the best way to do is just to go and try. So as I mentioned, FSB, Federation of Small Businesses, Meetup, you will find different ones related to the topics you want. Eventbrite helps as well. I know Liz networks way more than I do. So Liz, any suggestions in the chat? Gina, I know We Coffee is another amazing community. I almost forgot that one. So you've got a few in there. And join them. Join the sessions and get started and speak about what you do if you know exactly what it is that you do, right? I'm assuming you do. Christina, I wonder how I can align my personal brand and my business. Somehow the aesthetics are actually not aligned. I used to work in luxury fashion and now launch a sustainability agency, two different worlds. How do people usually find best middle ground? Wow, Christina, you threw me with that one. Okay, I've got to think hard now. Right, okay, let me just, so somehow aesthetics. Okay, well, I guess I'll start what comes to mind, okay? Because these are two industries that I don't know much about. But if you are in both, okay? If you are in both worlds, what is that thing that has enabled you to be in both? What is that value in a way? Is there a belief in there that, you believe you can be in both? What is that thing that is attracting you from each one of them? And maybe ask, I do, and actually, guys, this is not self-promotion. The thing is, I did this in my TEDx. And it's one thing where there is conflict, call it conflict in a way, or discrepancy. So some things that, are kind of separate, you put, the one on this end, which can be the aesthetics, okay? And the other one, which is the sustainability. And begin asking yourself, so how can they work together? This is powerful. You see, it came to mind finally. So how can they work together? How can this one support this one or the other way around? And keep on asking these questions. And what is the high positive intention behind this, behind me wanting to do this? And what is the high positive intention behind this? How can they align? How can they work together? The mind is powerful, and I'm sure you'll find a congruent moment, or a moment in which, things begin to work together in a way. Do the exercise. Let me know how it goes. Reach out to me. Happy to expand on this. Please, Christina, thank you very much for the question. Very interesting one. Do that. How can each one support each other? Susanna, building deeper connections to have these conversations. Hey, yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, and thank you very much for asking some of these questions, which can be deeper for some of you, of course. Are personal websites important to being able to convey our stories? I would say so. When we go networking, we sometimes carry our business card, okay? And that business card is just, again, another reminder to the person that we spoke. So having a personal website, when you have your stories, when you have your videos, all of that is part of that. It's the next level, you see? So once you clear on your purpose, once you're clear on that, who you are, what you bring to the table, that presence that you carry, you are that whole self, then you put all of that everywhere in the net, anywhere, social networks, everything, because that's how you're going to begin to attract the people you want in your life, the people you want to work with, or the people that you would like to work for. So definitely have your personal website and share it, but then you're sharing that amazing content that is coming through you from that self-alignment. That's why I always go back to purpose. Get that ready and begin to work. And by the way, this is not to say that, I haven't found it or my purpose is changing. Of course, it will change, and you continue to change that website. I started with some crappy black business cards, and I have got some more colorful ones. And now I don't use them because, we're in lockdown and I haven't got networking in person anymore. So there you go. Cheryl, go for it. And feel free to share that website. Happy to give you feedback or anything you need. Laura, have you got any advice for a postgraduate like myself? Yes, you are, about to start an amazing period in your life. So I'm trying my hand at freelancing and content creating, okay? Sustainable fashion marketing, but finding it very hard to find work in this strange climate. Laura, I agree with you. These are tough times, and it is very challenging out there, okay? So think about, in that industry where you are, apart from putting long hours, continue to do what you do. Be clear on that purpose, on the reason why you're doing it. So you keep on doing it, and you make sure you motivate yourself, and you wake up in the morning and you keep on going. I point that way because that's kind of my future for me. Keep on doing that. And then ask the questions. What can I do more of? What can I do less of? Because you only have got so much time on a daily basis. What can I increase? What can I decrease? What can I create? What can I delete? Ask those questions and see what comes up. Christina, yes, I just asked myself the right question. Hey, Christina, nice smile. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, it is my pleasure. Amazing, people. Are there any more questions? Well, let me just close the questions and answers. Any more questions, guys? Because I'm lost with the chat now. I think Liz has been talking to people. Marina, Susanna, all of you super active in the chat. Fantastic. Lovely to see you guys there. If you haven't got any more questions, then happy to pass it over to Super John. John, over to you then, if there aren't any more questions. Woo.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jose. That was incredible. Done. Well, if there's no more questions, I think we should just wrap it up now. Did you have any parting words?
Guys, keep it up. Keep on connecting. Join these events. If you're in two minds, I'm feeling a bit tired, should I? That's when you actually just invite yourself to go and do it, because that's when you actually may find that thing that you need and not specifically what you want. So yeah, keep on doing things. Keep on doing different things. I love those for the framework. What can I increase, decrease, create, eliminate? And keep on asking yourself those questions, and keep on moving towards what you want. Get some clarity in what it is that you want. Even you, John, can ask yourself those questions as you take that next step in your life, and see whenever you get there, what else can I do? Amazing opportunities. And there's so many opportunities nowadays. It is tough, and yet loads of opportunities to do things. The world is opening up.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's still on this call, who submitted their questions, engaged in the chat. It's been great. But sadly, it's goodbye. Until next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Thank you, John.